I don't get excited to watch like legit boxing fights, let alone gimmicky ones.
Yeah.
I'm overseeing it. Because why would you come to Australia? Doesn't matter if you're earning 10 grand or 200 grand or $1 million.
Yeah.
As soon as you set foot on Australian soil, you lose 50% of your money to tax. The government takes 50%. Bang, gone.
So, interesting fight, of course. Mike Tyson finally fighting Jake Paul was talked about for a while. Will you watch it, first of all?
No. I don't get excited to watch like legit boxing fights, let alone like gimmicky ones.
Yeah.
I just think like let retired fighters stay retired. I'm overseeing it.
He's like, how old is he now? He's like 50, 60?
50 something, and like obviously he gets all juiced up and gets on every, peptide and steroid under the sun, but I still think that like the damage that you've taken over your career and that sort of stuff, it's just not worth going in there against a young guy. But, if you're comparing boxing skill to boxing skill, Mike Tyson's forgotten more than Jake Paul will ever learn.
Yeah. Is there a world where he could... Is there a world where Mike Tyson could knock him out?
It's a man fighting an elderly person, a geriatric, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, the difference, like I tell people about this all the time. So, like, in footy, you have someone they're getting older in footy, and they slowly decline to the time where they just fall out of the team, and then they might retire, right? That never happens in fighting. In fighting, it's here, and then you fall off a cliff.
Yeah, okay.
There's no halfway. You're there, and then you're not there anymore. So look at Tony Ferguson. 10 in a row or something, he loses one, starts to get slower, starts to get older, starts to get weaker, then boom, off a cliff. 7, 8 losses in a row now.
So there's not like a chance that in the first minute Mike Tyson could severely damage Jake Paul?
There's always a chance. There's always a chance.
All right. What about Stipe then versus Jones?
Stipe and Jones is closer. Stipe, I still think, is probably just over the hill a little bit. But John Jones is the best of all time. There's no. Don't let anyone tell you it's Khabib or anyone else. John Jones is the best of all time, and he's beaten everyone from 2 or 3 different generations, and now doing it across 2 weight classes. I think he will dominate Stipe.
Do you reckon even like with his injury and stuff, he'd be fine to go?
Yeah, he'll find a way. He's the best. The best of all time for a reason. He always finds a way to just win fights.
Righto, so, but chance to Stipe at 550?
No, I wouldn't bet it. I wouldn't be betting at 550. No way. What's Tyson paying? Do you know?
Tyson's like 4s as well.
Yeah. Nah. Couldn't have it.
Couldn't have it. Fair call. All right. Well, let's talk about the card then. UFC. Do you want to start from the main?
Yeah, the main event. So we obviously just touched on John Jones and Stipe. John Jones to win by submission or TKO in the first or second round.
Really?
Yeah.
Just because he's been out for so long?
I just think it'll be easy. I just think he's so much better. Like the skill differential between him and the heavyweights that he's fighting is just massive. Yeah.
So do you think after that is he ducking Tom Aspinall?
Well, see, here's the difference.
Here you go.
Here's where it gets interesting. Stipe is undoubtedly an easier fight than Tom Aspinall.
For sure.
Because Tom Aspinall has something at heavyweight that a lot of the other guys don't have, and that's that speed and footwork. Like he moves like a middleweight, right? Which is actually poses a threat for Jones because he can get in and land shots on you early. And John Jones can be rocked. He can be wobbled. We've seen it. Leo Machida wobbled him. It can happen. But Stipe is slow and a plotter, and John just doesn't get hit in that way. So I wouldn't say he's ducking Tom Aspinall, but he's definitely choosing the fights that make sense for him. Yeah. And when you're the greatest of all time, you've earned that right. Yeah.
So, but do you think there's a right to the people and the UFC fans that he has to fight the interim champ, or do you reckon he retires after?
I don't think he owes anyone anything after this fight, but if he is going to fight again, it has to be Aspinall.
Yeah.
There's no other pathway.
Like, even though he called out Pereira, rather?
No. Oh, well, that would interest me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that would be great.
I mean, that would be sick, really.
What do you think? Let's say one of your mates rings you and invites you around for a party, barbecue, a few beers, and they say, we're putting on Jones versus Pereira, or we're putting on Jones versus Aspinall. Which one gets you out the door quicker?
I think, well, Pereira,
Of
just
course.
because of just what we've seen over the
course.
last year.
Yeah.
And, like, he's basically saved the UFC this year from all, like all the cards that were about to go missing.
And he just brings, like, a sense of anticipation that you haven't got with the other guys. But Aspinall's cool, too. I would be going to that barbecue, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, for sure. But he's also just doesn't want to risk it, I suppose, does he? Anyway, let's move on for the one. Charles Oliveira, the Bronx is taking on Michael Chandler. Chandler finally fighting after waiting for McGregor for...
They fought before.
Yeah, I'm saying he's finally
Finally
after...
fighting.
He's finally fighting after waiting for McGregor.
What a shit show. Imagine having that carrot dangled in front of you for so long. Yeah. And you sit on the sideline. How long has it been? 2 years?
Yeah, at least, yeah.
Oh, that would just kill me. And, like, again, you don't know, in that 2 years, Chandler could have hit that point where he's fallen off the cliff, you know? So it's bullshit. But their first fight was so entertaining. The thing I love about Chandler is he never spars, he fights.
Yeah.
Like, he's there to fight.
Yeah.
And so he comes out and he throws big shots. That fight last time, I think he nearly finished Oliveira in the first round, didn't he? Dropped him and he was trying to get the finish.
Depends on what ref's reffing, I suppose.
Yeah,
Got called. He also got out from Charles's, had him in back control.
Yeah.
And he got out. So I don't think many people would have done that.
And then Charles hit him with that clean, like, right hand, step in, left hook.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was sick.
And he didn't really care about being in his guard. He was just like smacking down. So he's not scared of Oliveira.
I'm gonna go with Oliveira to win. No method. Because I think he could finish him. I think he could win by points as well.
Yeah.
If you want Chandler to win, I'd say take him in the first round. I think if he doesn't get it done in the first, then it leans heavily towards Oliveira.
Is it a 5-rounder because it's main card?
I think so. Yeah. Should be.
So do you reckon Chandler's got the fight fitness 5 rounds after not being?
I don't know. I haven't seen him in 2 years.
That's what I mean.
Potentially.
Volkov versus Cyril Gane.
Volkov and Cyril Gane.
Volkov looks really good against Pavlovich.
Volkov looked great, but Cyril Gane's a different kettle of fish because Volkov's going to try and box, but Cyril Gane's a very, very handy striker. Probably going to go with Cyril Gane. Again, no method. I'll just take Cyril Gane to win.
Yep. All right. I know you love him, Bo Nickel.
Bo.
Paul Craig, if you can understand what he's saying half the time because of that Scottish accent. I don't know. That's an interesting one for Bo.
Yeah.
He's very good.
Fascinating fight. Bo's obviously very, very good. And this is the first legitimate competition he's faced. Because Paul Craig is good. Don't forget, Paul Craig broke Jamal Hill's arm.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He can get in and he can put you in bad positions. I think, though, the wrestling of Bo Nickel, and obviously he's been fighting MMA now for a while, his grappling is going to be enough.
Yeah.
He's going to be able to shut down Paul Craig's hips. Craig's not going to be able to swivel and get to an arm, and I think Bo Nickel's going to win in the second round.
His wrestling's just so elite, isn't it? Like,
elite. So elite. So technically sound, so athletically sound, so adapted to MMA now.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
2 old fellas on the card. Chris Weidman, or Weidman, however you want to say it. He's on there. How do you reckon he goes against Anders?
Or put me down as a don't care.
Don't care? Still pretty impressive that he came back from that leg injury and still he looked all right last fight.
Good on him. What's his record in his last fight?
Well, he would have won his last fight, that's for sure.
Chris Weidman's a legend. He's got nothing left.
He did win. He beat Bruno Silva, but that's a nobody anyway.
Silva twice. He's got nothing left to prove.
He lost that one. Yeah. So his last win. So 2 out of his last 4.
That's all right.
That's not too bad.
Yeah. Eric Anders, it's a decent fight. It's a fun fight. A couple of names that everyone knows. Former champ. I wonder what kind of big bag of a contract he'd be on.
Would there be like a legacy contract?
Yeah,
Is there? Like as soon as you get to certain fights? Is that the same with Miller?
They'd be on like 250, 300 a fight, you reckon, to show then to win?
Oh, it's your industry. Like
maybe less. Maybe 100 and 100.
Surely it can't be that much after a while. And they're like... Because how many people... It's not like they're bringing people through the gates, are they?
No.
That's what it all comes down to.
I think the UFC do look after you, though, if you've been good.
Like good bloke contracts?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't mind that. So do you reckon Miller wins?
Yeah, Miller. Yep. Miller versus Damon Jackson. Poor Damon Jackson. I feel for him. He's fought guys who have missed weight, got slept by Ilia, and then now, instead of fighting at his natural weight, which is featherweight, he's gone up to lightweight to fight Jim Miller. No, I listened to his coach on a podcast talk about how disappointing it was for him because the way he fights, he needs to fight someone his weight. He's high pace, top grappling. Yeah, but it's disappointing. I'd like to see him at featherweight again.
Speaking of Ilia, have you come around to like him?
I never disliked him.
Yeah,
I just disliked him stopping me from weighing in. Fucking cunt. No, he's all right. I like his style a lot. No, I got no issue with him as a person. I don't even know him. But I like the way he moves. I feel like, without getting too poetic about it, but there's a certain way that people move where they can get power without it looking powerful.
Yeah.
Like, when you watch, it's like watching Nick Dacos play footy and it just looks like effortless.
Yeah.
Ilia throws shots, but he doesn't load up. Like, you watch Josh Emmett, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, that cunt is throwing everything at 100%.
Yeah.
Josh Emmett just throws 100% power. Whereas you look at Ilia and the way he moves, his body lets him throw these shots at 100%. But it's like, it's motion. It's not, it's nothing's forced.
Is it funny when you think about it, because this is your weight division, right? And you think about all the people you just named, and then you chuck Lopez in there, and then you go Holloway, and there's Volkanovski. So your road to but that's what I mean. Your road to the title has to go through some of those guys.
Oh, well, I just want to get there soon. Like, you got to pay your dues, but I just want to step up every fight. Just get a little better. And I think I'm right there with all of those guys. Like, obviously, you don't know what you don't know. So I could get there and go, oh, shit, I'm not here. But no fighter ever looks at a fight down the line thinks I'm going to struggle. But I think, particularly with Ilia, if you look at how my leg kicks match up against him, I think I'm really good there. I've got good head movement. And I fight better the more technical someone is. Like, the more wild and brawler style they are, the more I kind of come down to their level. Whereas the more technical and proficient they are, I kind of rise to that. So I think I'm good. I'm a good fight for anyone in the top 5.
Yeah, and Yair with his leg kicks, that'll be an interesting battle.
Yeah. Yair would probably be my hardest fight in the top 5, I think.
Yeah?
Like, stylistically. I think that the way he kicks high, with me being low and moving side to side, I think it's probably similar to how his fight with Emmett went, or Ilia. That style versus us is the toughest.
Do you reckon we see Ilia and Volkanovski at Sydney when you're on the card?
No, absolutely not.
No?
Not happening. I don't think we're going to get Dalla either, because none of these big American names want to come to Australia, because why would you come to Australia? Doesn't matter if you're earning 10 grand or 200 grand or $1 million.
Yeah.
As soon as you set foot on Australian soil, you lose 50% of your money to tax. The government takes 50%. Bang, gone. Right? Then they give you this form to fill out of your expenses and shit, and everyone hates it. So the only way people come to Australia is if they're stepping up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why would any of them come when they can fight in Vegas for a flat rate 28% tax instead of coming here and paying 50%? So it makes a lot of difference.
So you reckon that rematch is going to be somewhere overseas than in the States?
It's got to be in Spain or the States.
Yeah.
At the very least, if you're the champ, you've earned the right to fight on neutral territory.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you're not going into enemy territory.
No. Speaking of that, so when people calling him out, like Prates called out Jack Jenkins,
because he'd have to step up, right? So that makes sense. So Prates goes, I'm below Jack in the rankings, so I'm happy to go to his hometown and fight him, and I can take the hit financially or whatever. But if it was, Jack calling out Usman or Colby, because technically they're,
about the same.
The same. They're like, fuck, why would I go to Australia? No thanks.
Oh, there you go. Was that just because the government? That's what...
Yeah, it's weird
how UFC having it here then.
It's weird how it works, and if you go deep into it, we have a tax credit system. So when they go back there, they're still going to get the money back eventually or whatever.
Yeah.
But I still have to. I have to pay my coaches based on my gross. I have to pay my management based on my gross. So I might end up out of pocket 6 months, a lot of money. If you're American, it's hard
until you get back. And then so your opponent just pulled out. What's the word then?
Yeah, I had an opponent, and then they said, you're going to Australia to fight Jack Jenkins, and he went, I'm actually a bantamweight now.
Yeah.
So Now we're hoping for a big name.
Jeez.
Someone on the main. I just want a main card fight. You know what I mean?
It's like changing gender.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not this guy anymore.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.